Hello, I am in my ratchet kitchen.
Welcome to my kitchen. We have bananas and avocado.
With my Duncan and my computer because I had a spontaneous idea for this video. The video was to look up questions about colleges but answer them to fit Iowa. I ordered a decaf coffee, but I don't think it was. I think they f***ed it up. Okay. How much time do students typically spend on homework? I don't think any college tour would be able to answer that. Like, that depends on the person a lot. Any advice for admissions? I don't really know. It was a very simple application, I thought, compared to the other places that I applied to. I didn't even need to write an essay for liberal arts, so yeah. What is the average class size of introductory classes? So how it works for my classes, at least at Iowa, I'm a communications studies major, so it might be different, but a lot of the classes that I have have a big lecture and a smaller class that's a discussion or a lab. So the biggest lecture room I had, I don't know how many students were enrolled, was like 700. Okay, so I found a picture of the 700 person lecture hall and I made this beautiful thing to show that only 2 people sat in that top part, but the bottom section was full. So there's definitely not 700 people in there. Usually they're around I want to say 2 to 300. Correct me if I'm wrong, friends that are watching. Do you have an honors college? Yeah. Also, most of the honors people live in this dorm called Dom Hall, which is on the east side, and I forgot to talk about. And they also have their own honors center. That building was literally just the people above us. Do you have a writing center, and how do I access it? I think it's in a certain building, but your teacher should tell you about it. What kind of dorm choices are there? Okay, so Iowa City is separated by a river. So there's the east and a west side, and the east side is mostly where like the intro classes are and most of the classes are. So the dorms on the east side are called Courier, which is old. It was built in like 1906. That's a lie. I'll insert the right date. Burge, which has a dining hall, which is where I lived, and it's actually pretty nice, even though it was built in the 60s. They just redid the carpets and stuff, so it's not as dirty as when I used to live in there. Stanley and Catlett, which is the new one, and also has a dining hall, so I recommend trying to get one of the new ones, but a lot of my friends didn't seem to like going in the new ones because they're more like a hotel and not like a real dorm. So if you want more of a real dorm, I guess go for Courier, Burge, or Stanley, but if you want the nicest one you can get on the east side, go for Catlett. And then on the east side, like way away from all the other dorms, there's one called Mayflower, and that's apartment style. So you have your own kitchen. One of my friends lived there. She shared her room with one girl, and she shared a kitchen with a room on the other side of her, if that makes sense. So the west side dorms, people make them seem like they're really far away. They're not that far away. You get on a bus or you can even walk. I'm used to spending time in a city, so I'm like okay with walking when it's nice out, but in the winter I feel like it's easy to get a bus. So those are Reno, Peterson, which is the new one, and that has a cafe in it. Hillcrest, and that has a dining hall that's like a really, really big one, and it's been there for a while. So yeah, Peterson's the newer hotel-y one. I didn't live there, so I can't say if it's like a hotel, but some of my friends would probably say that. I don't know. I swear there's one more west side dorm, but I don't know what it is. Any advice for applying for housing? Try to go east side, but if not, west side is not that big of a deal. You can walk, you can take the bus. Do you have a learning community or other freshman experiences? When I was a freshman last year, they did have these things called LLCs, so you kind of could live on the same hall and dorm as people who are in your major, but I don't think they're doing that anymore. Look that up. Are any students placed in triples? Yeah. That means like a dorm with 3 people. Yeah, I feel like it depends on your year and how big your class is, but yeah, people have triples and you can choose what room style you want, I believe. What percentage of students live on campus? A lot. Everyone lives in the dorms freshman year. I heard of like one dude that didn't live in the dorms freshman year. I think most people live in the dorms freshman year, and then a lot of people move off campus into an apartment starting sophomore year. And I know some schools do like dorms for the first 2 years and then switch, but a lot of people live in an apartment after their first year.
And if you're really particular about where you live, I would start looking for your sophomore year apartment in October of your freshman year. But I waited until like January and still got somewhere to live.
Do most students go home on the weekend? Okay. A lot of people go home for big things like Labor Day and Easter and stuff, even if we don't have like a big break. I think a lot of people here are really like connected to their hometowns because a lot of people come from really small towns, so they like it a lot. I don't know. But everybody stays for football games, weekends. What do you do on the weekend? Okay. I looked so creepy in that. Okay, so when I was a freshman, I went out a lot, especially spring semester. I would go out 2 or 3 nights a week, which is do not recommend. A lot of people go out. If there's a football game, it's mostly just like the football game, and then people might go out the night before or whatever, but it's really just around the football game. It's a study body. What percentage of the study body belongs to a sorority or fraternity? Okay, what percentage of the student body belongs to a sorority or fraternity? So I don't think it's a lot of people, but it seems like a lot of people. Sometimes, like, it's nowhere near like going to a southern school, or apparently Iowa State, you kind of have to be in a sorority, but I don't know how true that is. One of my cousins just told me that. So you don't really need to be in a sorority to go out. Be blank. I think that Iowa is considered a big party school because there is bars, there is a lot of frat and sorority life, and there's just house parties. So all of that combined, plus a big football school, is a lot of fun. I'll just say that. But you don't have to be super crazy to fit in. And you shouldn't be super crazy to fit in wherever you go. Why did you choose the college? Okay, so I chose Iowa because my parents met here, my whole family went here. I grew up with like the Iowa football culture, and I knew I was gonna have to go to a Big Ten or really big football school that was kind of known at first, but yeah, I just had a family connection and I wanted to go out of state anyway. Are you happy being a student at the college? Yes. Everybody is so nice to me. I get the door held open for me all the time, which is like weird because people are more rude where I live, I guess. But yeah, what I would do differently was be more outgoing freshman year. My roommate was like my best friend. I hung out with her all the time as opposed to like trying to go and meet new people, so I would have told my freshman self to be more outgoing. What don't you like about the school? Not a lot of random people go to Iowa from different places, and I like didn't think about that. I thought every college would have random people all the time, but yeah, at sometimes it seems like everybody's from a small town and already knows a million people, and you feel a little bit lost if you're out of state, but I love everyone, and everyone's so nice, so yeah. Do you feel challenged in your coursework? Okay, I'm a communications major, so it's going to be different stuff, but yes, I feel challenged this year because it's higher level stuff. It's just the time and effort you put into it that is what I could have done more with last year. How long will it take you to graduate? Why? Hopefully 4 years, unless I decide to go to grad school. How approachable are the professors, college staff, the college president? I saw the college president one time, but I think the professors are pretty approachable. I mean, I'm not one who's like afraid of that kind of thing, like approaching people, so I don't know. All my professors, I would go up to them. What is dorm life like? I don't know. I'm not a very high standards person for anything, so I wasn't bothered by any of the food or living in sort of a more ratchet place. The bad thing is though, if you live in a dorm with a dining hall in it, you get a lot of cabin fever in the winter because you never go outside because you don't even need to eat. So, yeah. What is your favorite place on campus and why? That's so cute. Really cute study spaces, the Voxman Music Hall, I don't know if it's a music hall, Voxman Music Building, the Graduate Hotel, that's super cute. There's a cute coffee shop in it with like sandwiches and all that, so I recommend that. I don't know, the Pentecrest is like cute. I like having a center of campus as well. The eating hours are kind of weird because there's certain flex meal times and the dining halls are only open from certain increments, like kind of breakfast, lunch, dinner, but they're pretty big increments. Like lunch isn't just like 12 to 1, it's like maybe 11 to 3, but don't count me on that. How is the surrounding community? Is it friendly to the college students? One thing that surprised me when I was here, there's only like 3 of them that I see, but there's homeless people here, and I didn't think about it because, you know, it was Iowa, and it's not like that big of a city. So yeah, that's like a little sketch, but I've never seen anyone like harm anyone. But yeah, that's one thing that threw me off. Also, the surrounding community, like, they hate that we drink so much. Is a car necessary? Feels like it sometimes, but not really. You really do not need one freshman year because I think the place that they have you park that is the most reasonably priced is super far away. It's like a 45-minute bus ride, so don't recommend bringing one freshman year, but probably for the rest if you have one. I don't have one because I live so far away, but yeah. What extracurriculars are you involved in? I'm in Her Campus, which is like an online blog thing, and I do social media for that. I'm also on the Victoria's Secret Pink campus team, and I do social media for that as well. I'm in the Communication Studies Association. I was not very involved last year, so I tried again this year. But I highly recommend like joining a million student orgs freshman year because that's how you dive into your community. Does the dining hall accommodate special dietary restrictions? Well, I have a story for you. Okay, so usually they label everything with the little allergen things. I'm allergic to peanuts. Story time on that later, probably. And I had a reaction to something in the dining hall because it didn't have the things on it, and I think it was just like cross-contamination. They offer to make you your own separate meals if you have allergies and stuff, but I didn't. I tried to email people and I didn't really get that going, but I think if you try really hard, you can get that to happen. Are there movie theaters like concert venues? Yes, there's a lot of concerts, it seems like, in the bars, or at least last year there were a lot. And you don't have to be 21 to go. Like, it's like you have to be 18 to go. There's like a little indie, like, film scene thing, so if you're really into the movies, you can do that. And then there's also one in the Iowa Memorial Union that's like sponsored by our campus activities board where you can see movies for cheaper. So yeah, if you really want to see a movie, you can. Do many students work on or off campus? A lot of people I know work. Both my roommates work, but I don't work. But there's a lot of opportunities, just like you can work in the dining hall or like a little cafe, but a lot of people I know do have jobs. So I think that's the end. So if you have any other questions about Iowa, because you somehow found this video, please comment down below. Please subscribe for more Iowa and me related content. And yeah, I hope you consider Iowa, and if you're on a campus tour, feel free to ask students stuff. People are nice, so if you just walk up to them, or like your mom walks up to them, they're not gonna think you're weird or whatever. People are so Iowa nice. So yeah, hope you consider Iowa and subscribe.
Bounce, bounce.